Welcome to my messy dorm room. Hey everyone, it's Joe. I'm the Kosher Ninja, and I've traded in my hiking boots for library books, and I'm in Israel doing a master's degree. I've brought you guys along for the ride, and right now I'm still in quarantine because I just got here a few days ago. So today we're going to talk a little bit about surviving quarantine. I'm supposed to be quarantining officially for 14 days, but there is a way to shorten it after 7 days if I get a third negative, or a second, according to them, second in Israel, negative PCR test. And then once I get the results for that, they'll release me from quarantine. But, so I've kind of been counting on 7 days. And I started out with a very positive attitude, chill. I have a lot of things I have to do, so it's actually pretty good just to be able to focus on that and not have to think about, going shopping or going to the beach or other things like that. That might be tempting me. So I was doing pretty well for the first day and the second day and even the third day, even when I wasn't getting much sleep because of jet lag. And I also had my new friend Noah from back home, who I flew together with, and she was quarantining kind of not with me but in her own room, but we were kind of like touching base to compare notes and share what was going on. And then all of a sudden, so here's where I'm kicking myself. At the airport, I could have done a serological test, but this was not the information that I was told applied to me because I'm from an orange country. And I decided not to do that test simply because we were told it doesn't apply to us. And officially it doesn't apply to us, but apparently people are being let out, set free on the basis of that serology test. So I was doing really well until that happened. And then I guess I was halfway through my stated expected quarantine. And so I was kind of thinking, yeah, it's halfway through, I can do this. And then suddenly I get hit with this blow that I really wouldn't have to do this. So that was kind of hard. And then I started trying to figure out, well, how could I do the serology test? And there's a lot of sort of issues about traveling around, and technically I'm not supposed to get out of quarantine to do a serology test. So yeah, there was a lot of issues, and I'm just kicking myself wishing I had done it at the airport, because then I wouldn't have had any of these issues. It would have been cheaper, and official or not, it would have gotten me out of quarantine earlier. But on the other hand, I'm sort of trying to accept this situation because it is giving me time to focus on kind of getting my plan together for, well, not really. I like to think that I'm getting my plan together for school, but I'm not really. So I'm being bombarded by WhatsApp messages and working on videos for you guys. I've been doing some other things. I've been trying to get some exercise and stay healthy, but I gotta tell you one thing. This quarantine thing does absolutely nothing to promote health. Whether or not it's actually staving off the COVID virus, I have my opinions about that, but I will keep them to myself. But as far as like general health is concerned, and general health is so important for battling this disease, quarantine is not helping that at all. For the first 2 days, you saw the images I had of last week of the the prison bars in front of my window. And so for the first 2 days, it didn't even occur to me. It sort of at some point occurred to try to figure out how those shutters open so that I could get some more light, but it didn't seem particularly urgent. And then on day 3, my friend called me to find out how they open or close. And so I finally turned my mind to trying to figure it out, which is when I realized that they actually swing entirely to the side so that you have the complete window free. After I figured that out, then I realized that since I have the morning sun, I could actually take some time to get healthy and get vitamin D and sunshine in the morning. So now I spend a good chunk of my mornings just standing at the windows and soaking in the sun. So I am sunbathing in quarantine because I need to do that. And I'm so glad that I have an east window, even though I typically actually prefer a west orientation because I like to see the sunset. I'm very rarely awake for a sunrise. But this is actually probably a good thing. It'll motivate me to get up early, and it's also, I'm convinced, helping me with jet lag. So just kind of reorienting my internal clock by getting sunshine in the morning and letting my body sort of figure out that, oh, it's morning, it's not night, I should be up and not sleeping. So that's definitely one thing that I've been doing. And I have been doing some exercises and trying to get in some kung fu practice, which is interesting in a small dorm room in quarantine. And then, of course, something that you also have to do when you're in quarantine or not in quarantine is keep the place clean. And trying to figure out how to get groceries, that's been a big deal. How to get groceries, how to get out of quarantine. I've spent a whole lot of time at my computer, and not all of it has really been very efficient or effective or well used time. And I just finally decided, you know what, it's not worth my trouble to spend the time trying to get this quarantine lifted. As nice and lovely as that would be, I really have to focus on getting these videos out to you guys. So, do you see how important you are to me? How I'm living in quarantine is another thing, a totally different story, because my suitcases were overweight as it was, so there was no way I was packing pillows, blankets, sheets, and all that kind of stuff. And especially because I was bringing my backpacking gear anyways. So while I'm in quarantine, until I get set free from jail, I'm sleeping with my sleeping bag and my sleeping bag liner and just inflatable pillows. And that's working just fine. If it works on the Shvil, it'll work in quarantine for a few days. And then once I'm set free, I'll go and I'll buy proper sheets and blankets and pillows and stuff so that I can make this place home for the next week, for the next year. Some of the other things that I've appropriated from my camping gear for quarantine have been like my camping mug and my Sea to Summit bowl / plate and cup, and my MSR, this with the MSR kit. I think it came with the pocket spider, pocket rocket, that's what it is. It came with a whole kit and pot and a little plastic bowl that goes around, that packs lightly with it. And then I've just been using delivery containers. So until I can get out of quarantine and go and buy myself some proper dishes, cutlery, I've been using one of my camping tools and some of my just everyday camping or reusable utensils, so that I'm being eco-friendly in the process. Food-wise, so for the first few days, I actually had an extra oatmeal and a cream of wheat packet that I packed in my luggage for breakfast for the second day, like the day after my arrival. And on the day of my arrival, what did I eat that day? Well, and there was the welcome package, so I had some penne marinara, I think. I'm usually okay with plain food, but airplane food. But this time, I couldn't defend it this time. I don't know what was wrong, but what else did I eat on that first day? I can't remember anymore. But anyways, the second day, because the second day was Sukkot, right? So, that's what it was. So there was that package that was waiting for me, the welcome Sukkot dinner package. So I had Sukkot dinner for dinner, and then the following day, it was a huge serving, so the following day I had the remainder for lunch. And then I had penne marinara for dinner. And then the following day, I think I had penne marinara for lunch as well, and I was getting pretty sick of it. But I had ordered groceries by that point, and they were supposed to arrive on Wednesday afternoon, evening. A bunch of the things that I had ordered arrived, and just in time before I kind of freaked out because my blood sugar was getting very low and I was not a happy camper. But some of my items didn't get delivered, so then a few of them came the next day, and an order of eggs will not actually come until Sunday. But here's where you got to get creative, and I wish I had thought about this a few days earlier. And I sort of almost did, but I didn't. So I had that honey cake that I thought was a chocolate cake, and I really wasn't that interested in the honey cake, blood sugar and stuff. I can't eat sweets. I'm not a sweets fan anyways, and I really shouldn't be eating sugary, sweet type foods anyways. So I finally, this morning, it occurred to me, and this is day 5, that why don't I just trade up? If somebody's got some eggs, because I'm sure somebody on campus has eggs. So I put out a call on the WhatsApp group for somebody to trade their eggs for my honey cake, and one of the guys went and he was going shopping anyways, so he bought me a dozen eggs for my honey cake. So that was pretty awesome. Thanks, dude. And so about the WhatsApp groups. There are a bunch of different WhatsApp groups here, and the way things work these days is so different from when I was a kid going to school. So there are 2 that I'm aware of, and I think there's another one, but I'm not on it. I'm on 2 sort of dorm life WhatsApp groups, and people are constantly posting messages up there to see if anybody, especially people who are in quarantine, to see if somebody can help them get their food up to their room, or if somebody has items to exchange for this or that or the other thing, or asking for help in figuring out how to get out of quarantine, and or asking, I don't know, where the food's delivered to or where the garbage cans are. So all this kind of information, it's really kind of crowdsourced. Fortunately, the students are a real community and help each other out. And that's great. I can't wait to meet these people that I've been texting to on WhatsApp. So guys, that's what I've been doing in quarantine. If you have any ideas what you might do in quarantine, tell me about it in the comments section down below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up or 2 thumbs up. Subscribe, share with your friends, hit the notification bell to be notified when I post new videos. And I can't wait to see you again next time. Until then, thanks for watching and shalom, eh?